Hey guys, Lynn here. I'm going to do a Draw My Life video as requested by Rachel. I was born in the Philippines. My mum's side of the family is originally from there, and then my dad was there working and they met in the capital. But my mum originates from the south, so I was born in Zamboanga City. There was me, my mum, my dad, and I was born on the 7th of December 1994. My real name is Vivia Lynn, but people shorten it to Lynn, and then my sister kind of shortened it to Yeen. I don't know. When I was 4 months old, we moved from the Philippines to England, which is where my dad is originally from. We took a plane. My mum left behind her son that she had with the previous husband, so I actually have a half-brother who lives over there. She didn't want to take him because she didn't know what it was going to be like living in England, so she left him with her mum. We lived in London, and it was me, my mum, my dad, and then I have a little sister called Catherine. She's called Cats, obviously. She is actually deaf, like profoundly deaf, so I often, when we were little, I was the translator. She didn't really like talking to people. She kind of always looked to me. Her first language is sign language, but I think it makes us closer, and we're best buddies. I went to nursery at St Andrew's Church in London, and that's where I met my bestest buddy, Rachel. One of my first few memories is of walking to nursery, and Rachel would never stop sucking her thumb. And also I remember we had frogs there, and I have this memory of me just holding a little frog thing in my hand. I started school at St George's. It was like a really religious school. I'm not really religious now, but me and my sister both went there. She was in the year below me, and Rachel went there as well. Me and Rachel were actually we did football after school, but because Rachel was a year older than me, she left, so I left because I didn't really like football. I think I just did it because Rachel did it. Then my little brother was born. I remember my dad coming and picking us up from school at around 11 a.m. and he was like, "Yo, your baby brother is born." So we went to see my mum in hospital, and little baby Thomas was born. My dad kind of had a history of smoking and drinking, so there was kind of problems when we were growing up, but I'd say the good outweighs the bad. Outweighs the bad. I had a good childhood overall. So when I was 7, we took a holiday to the Philippines. We went back there. I always have this memory of me and my sister taking a boat ride on this boat that had stabilizers, which was kind of weird. Also, there were chickens everywhere, and I remember my sister wanted to pick one up, and she picked it up, but she was holding onto it too tightly, and she accidentally killed it. That's pretty bad, I know. So when we got back, we actually moved further up. We moved up to the Midlands. It's from London, so it was kind of like the countryside. I still remember what the house looks like, so I'm drawing it in detail because why not? I made friends in the street, and also I moved school. I went to Avondale Junior School. It wasn't the best school, but I made a lot of friends there, and I had a good time. I was quite popular, but I was kind of naughty, and I used to always say mean things and get told off for it, so whoopsie daisy. I also remember that I wrote the leaving assembly when we were in year 6, and I was the main character because diva. I started taking master classes in my last years of primary school at a school in the next town. I don't wear glasses, that's just me being a nerd. And first I did the science master classes, and then I went on to do the drama ones, which were a lot more fun. But then I knew that I wanted to go to this school, like for secondary school, so there were school buses, so that's how I got there, because it was in the next town. It was only 20 minutes drive. But I said goodbye to all my friends at primary school because they moved on to a more local school. And I tried to make friends at this new school, but no, I didn't know a single person. Nobody from my primary school came to this secondary school. Also, when I was 12, my father passed away, and I have this cool bracelet. Yeah, so I mostly hung around with these 2 other girls, and we kind of kept to ourselves. I didn't really have any other friends. In 2008, we went to the Christmas market in Aachen in Germany, which was really fun. I remember it being close to freezing, and my friend bought a frappuccino because she wasn't sure what it was. And she was disappointed. Then in year 9, I met this guy who he used to have really long hair, but now it's cool. His name's Ben, and we are in a relationship which will be 5 years long in August, 5-year anniversary. That was also around the time that my mum met her fiance now, called Trevor. So in science, I found friends there was 5 of us, and we used to wreak havoc in our science classes, and then we always used to get told up for talking, but it was good fun. They were like best friends. I actually ended up living next to one of the girls, and she like lives next door right now. In 2009, we also took another holiday to the Philippines, and I remember swimming in the sea that was like so calm in the evening, and it was so beautiful. And also my half-brother had a baby, not him, obviously, his girlfriend, and my mum helped give birth, and she named him Marcus, and he's a very cute boy. In 2010, I went on a student exchange to Germany and stayed with another family. They were really friendly, and I got on really well. They took me on a tour around the city, and I don't think I actually learned a lot of German there because they spoke English anyway. Naughty. In 2010, we went to Germany again. This time Ben came with us. We went to the Holocaust Memorial and concentration camp and that sort of stuff. By that time, it was the end of GCSEs. I got kind of average grades that I wasn't really happy with, so I was kind of disappointed with that, but never mind. I took the stuff that I was good at, and I took them on to 6th form to study for my A-levels. My performing arts was a BTEC, but I was really interested in performing arts. I had already, I was part of a theatrical society, and I'd started recording covers on the computer through a microphone. So I was interested in that. But my favourite subject has to be German because of my really brilliant German teacher. I've had him since I was in year 7, and he didn't just teach us German. He taught us about all these different things in life, and I really look up to him because he was very wise, and he always said very things that really impacted. It really made you think about different stuff. Also, he was really supportive of my musical theatre kind of pursuits. What is the word? I don't know. But I remember he got me into linguistics because in year 7 he said, why do we chop a tree down, then chop it up again? And I was like, OMG, that is so true. Why do we say that? Like, why? So then I decided to take up linguistics and languages as my primary interest. In 6th form, I didn't really have any friends because the people that I used to hang around with, the 5 of us, we kind of got split up because 2 of them kind of moved away. In 2012, I went on a summer school trip. It wasn't really summer because it was March, but went to there, and we organised our own stuff, and it was all German. We stayed with these women who didn't know any English. We took a trip around the Reichstag, which was really interesting, so that was probably one of the best times of my life. I got really good grades at the end of my A-levels, which enabled me to get into Nottingham University, which was my first choice to study German and English. That was also around the time that I passed my driving test, and then my sister passed hers too, which is awesome, and now we fight over the car. And then we moved to Corby, which is the next town from where we were previously living. We moved to a big house with my mum's fiance. We have 2 dogs, Rosie and Ziggy, and we all live together. And there's Shelley, who's currently in Australia. We live in this massive 5-bedroom house. So yeah, and now it's just me and my sister and Rachel and Tom, and we just have a great time in life. I don't know if I missed anything out, but that's about it, These guys are my bestest buds, and can't wait to go to Whitby in the summer with you guys. Oh yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked my Draw My Life video. I think I missed out quite a few things, but it doesn't even matter because it's cool. See you later.